Have you ever felt like an emotional support center, available 24/7 for everyone around you? Have you ever wondered what would happen if one day you chose silence, if you didn't respond right away? Would anyone still notice your presence? And what would it mean if you stopped being always there, not out of anger, but because you started respecting yourself? In a world that praises constant availability as a sign of love, pulling back can feel like rebellion. But in truth, it's the beginning of deep healing. This message is for the soul that has given too much, replied too quickly, and stayed too long in spaces where their presence was taken for granted. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the Daily Stoic and join our Telegram community to stay updated on new videos about personal and spiritual growth. Now let's dive into this story. From a young age, many of us are taught that being needed equals being valuable. As we grow, we start to associate love with being available and approval with saying yes. But that seemingly harmless belief slowly erodes our personal boundaries. Being constantly present isn't always a virtue. Sometimes it becomes a quiet form of emotional depletion. You keep giving and giving until all that's left is a hollow echo of yourself. But remember, withdrawal is not rejection. It's an act of self-honoring, a conscious decision to stop offering yourself to people and spaces that only know how to take. The moment you begin to pull back, not out of bitterness, but out of respect for your own energy, you start a quiet revolution. Those who are used to your immediate presence will begin to feel the void. But that void isn't cruelty, it's clarity. It reveals who truly values you for who you are and who merely relied on the convenience of your availability. When you step back, the air clears. You begin to see patterns you hadn't noticed before. You feel your own emotions more vividly. You reconnect with a center you had long neglected. True connection endures space. Dependency does not. And understanding that difference is what sets you free. In that sacred stillness, you finally come face to face with your forgotten needs. You remember what it feels like to sit in peace without panic, to breathe without explanation, to exist without needing to prove your worth. Withdrawal is not a departure, it's a homecoming. And in that homecoming, you begin to rebuild your life, not around performance, but around presence. Carl Jung once said that we all wear a persona, a social mask shaped to win acceptance. It helps us function in society, but it is not our true self. The more we cling to that mask, the further we drift from our essence. Overavailability is often a performance of the persona. It's the smile when you're breaking inside. It's the quick reply when your body's weary. It's the yes when your soul screams no. Taking off the mask can be painful. It can feel like betrayal, especially to those who only ever knew you through the roles you played. But the cost of keeping that mask on is even greater. You disappear from your own life. Choosing yourself may disappoint others, but it's the only path to authenticity. This unmasking isn't rebellion, it's remembrance. The one who honors your boundaries sees you. The one who resents them only ever saw your utility. And as you shed what was never truly yours, a deeper, quieter truth begins to emerge. And it is that truth that deserves your protection. Because the more you live from your center, the less you care about how others perceive you. You stop editing yourself to be more likable. You stop performing. And with every mask you lay down, your presence becomes more honest, more powerful, more rare. And from that moment you begin living in truth, a new question arises. Are you ready to meet yourself, unguarded, unfiltered? We'll continue exploring that in the next part. As we peel away the mask and begin living from our center, we discover a deeper truth. Authenticity isn't just liberating, it changes everything. Because authenticity isn't just attractive, it's transformational. It doesn't demand attention, it invites connection. It encourages others to meet you as you truly are, not as they imagine you should be. Carl Jung once said that the psyche operates like a system of limited energy. Every interaction, every emotional tug, every unnecessary explanation, it all costs something. When you start to treat your energy as something sacred, everything changes. Your choices become intentional. You no longer throw yourself into conversations that drain you, into conflicts that go nowhere, or into roles that strip away your peace. Instead, you begin to choose, with care, where your energy flows. And with that careful discernment comes a quiet kind of power, not the kind that dominates others, but the kind that roots you deeper within yourself. You start to recognize the quiet joy of non-reaction, the calm that comes from not engaging, the strength found in simply observing without needing to defend, explain, or fix. At first, that silence may feel foreign, uncomfortable even. You might wrestle with guilt or wonder if you're being cold. But slowly, that silence transforms into something sacred. It becomes clarity. It becomes strength. In that stillness, something profound happens. You don't disappear, you rise. And as you rise, something begins to heal. You stop trying to hold everything together for others. Instead, you begin to tend to the parts of yourself that have long been waiting for your attention. You invest your energy where it's honored, where it's met with presence, not performance. You stop pouring into what drains you and start nurturing what restores you. You remember your energy isn't infinite. It's a gift, a precious one, and not everyone is meant to receive it. If this message has stirred something inside you, if it's reminded you of your worth, please share this video with someone who may need it too. And if you'd like to support this work, you can do so by clicking the thanks button just below. Your support means more than you know. Now let's continue. In a world full of noise, absence becomes a form of presence. There's a rare beauty in walking away quietly, in saying no without guilt, in holding your peace even when provoked. This kind of silence, it isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the kind of calm that says, I know who I am. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to be constantly available to be felt. The more you remove yourself from chaos, the more you return to yourself. And the more you guard your peace, the more your presence begins to carry a rare and quiet weight. People start to notice, not because you demand attention, but because your absence speaks volumes. Your silence, refined and intentional, says what words never could. And here's the paradox. The less you seek to be seen, the more visible your essence becomes. This kind of absence, intentional, grounded, reveals more than your constant presence ever did. It shows that you're no longer here to reflect others' projections or bend to their expectations. You are whole. You are sovereign. And that kind of presence, it draws people in. In your absence, others are forced to confront what your presence once concealed. Their assumptions, their dependencies, their unspoken needs. And as you step back, you stop carrying what was never yours to hold. You no longer serve the version of you they constructed. Instead, you stand tall, aligned from within, no longer shaped by their needs but by your own truth. So if this message has touched something inside you, if it echoes in places you've long ignored, declare it now. Say it out loud or whisper it to yourself. I choose my peace. Not to be liked, not to be understood, but simply to begin. Because the moment you stop being constantly available to everyone else, something powerful happens. You finally become available to yourself, and that changes everything. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into what it truly means to live in alignment, with clarity, with courage, and with an unwavering commitment to your own inner truth. Stay with us. This journey has only just begun.